ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation now proceeds to Mahalla Tija, Wadhans Mahalla Tija, the third Nanak, Gur Amar Das. And the recitation, stanza by stanza. Ik oankar Satgur Prasad. This is the invocation to Ik oankar, that symbol of oneness, the all-pervasive reality that is discerned through the Guru, the Gur, the right knowledge, the appropriate knowledge. Prabh Sachara Har Salahiai, ਕਾਰਜ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਨ ਜੋਗ, ਸਾਧਨ ਰੰਡ ਨਾ ਕਬਹੂ ਬੈਸਈ, ਨਾ ਕਦੇ ਹੋਵੇ ਸੋਗ. ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸਚੜਾ ਹਰ ਸਲਾਹੀਐ. Praise. This is advised to us. We should emulate. Praise means to emulate. It's emulation. When you praise someone, there is implied a desire for emulation. So the Guru is saying, emulate the virtues of Har, the self. The self is capable of doing everything. Sab kich karna jog. It is the cause and the effect. So emulate its virtues so that you become creative. And then what happens is sadhan randana kabhum besai. Sadhan, feminine, that soul wife, bride. When you emulate the self, you are really taking it on as the spouse. Rand kabuna besai, meaning you will never be widowed. Now this is metaphorical language, so you have to understand the symbolism involved here. It means that when you emulate the virtues of the self or cultivate them, embody them in your life, you will never be widowed. In other words, you will not be deprived of the pleasure and of that creative force. Na kade hove sog, anandin ras bhog, na hove sog. You will never experience sorrow. Anandin ras bhog, you will constantly be in a state of blissful immersion. Sathan mahal samani. So, Mahal Samani means you're in the domain where you are meant to be, in the presence of this master essence. Jin priyo jata karam bidata bole amrit bani. Now, the same thing being said, different words. Jin priyo jata karam bidata, one who understands, meaning one who has assimilated the virtues of the priyo, the beloved. Jata, jin priyo jata karam bidata, they know the Creator. Bole amrit bani, you embody amrit bani. This is a way of saying, literally it means your speech becomes sweet. What that means is your expression. And it is not simply a vocabulary. It is the way you live life. That's the way you express life. Gunvantiyan gun sare apne kant samal hai, na kade lage vijoga. Separation, which is what is killing us, you overcome that sense of separation. So the virtuous soul bride, by accumulating virtue, overcomes this separation. Sachara Har Salahiai, sab kuch karne jogo. Again, repeat. Sachara Har Salahiai. Here the words used are Pir, the husband, the eternal husband, the great spouse. Emulate. Sing in praise of that great spouse. The next verse. Sachara Sahib a-sabad-a-day, आपे लय मिलाए, साधन प्रे के रंग रत्ती, विचों आप गवाए. Now the Guru is explaining to us the method, simply how to do that. Sachara Sahib, that master who is eternal, who is our spouse within, sabad-a-day, through the sabad, recognize it. Sabad-a-day. There is a vowel here that says through the instruction, through the word of the Guru, the eternal spouse is recognized, is discerned within. So what we need to do is engage with the sabad. Then what happens? Ape le milai. What that means is that once you engage in that process of engaging with the sabad, that process itself will lead you there. So trust the process. What you have to do is engage with honesty. Sadhan pre ke rang rati, vichon aap gavaye. विचों आप गवाए, फिर काल न खाए, गुरमुख एको जाता. So what happens in that process? Gradually, you begin to dissolve your own ego and begin to imbibe the message of the sabad. It begins to color you. It begins to influence you. You develop an affinity with the sabad. So the only way to develop infinity with anyone, with anyone, is what do? You actually have to spend time with that entity, right? So, unless you engage with Gurbani, you're never going to change your mind. You'll simply carry on the way you are. So, the process is what will lead you to the self, is what will dissolve the ego up, vichon aap gavaye. And once the ego is dissolved, then what happens? Kal na khaye. No longer do you fear death. Why? Because you are now a Gurmukh. You're on the process. You're on that. You could call that process Gurmukh, if you will. So because through the Guru, eko jata, you recognize the oneness. You discern the oneness. You begin to realize that. And you understand the illusion of death that we suffer from. कामण इच पुन्नी अंतर पिन्नी मिलया जग जीवन दाता शब्द रंग राती जो बन माती फिर के अंक समाए कामन इच पुन्नी अंतर पिन्नी is being fulfilled. Pinni is dampness. It is like being dampened, softened by the spray of the rain, let us say. Similarly, engagement with Gurbani will soften you. It will soften you, and then that is what leads you to the Creator within. And sabad rangarati joban amati. And then you're imbued with the love. You're intoxicated in that love. You become youthful in the way you engage with life, because you're now in the embrace of the Almighty spouse. You have that creative force embracing you. Sachara Sahib sabad pachaniye ape laye milai. So there you go, the reinforcement. Sachara Sahib sabad pachaniye. Recognize the Sahib, the master, through the process that we have called Gurumukh. Ape le milai, the process will lead you there. The process is the Guru. The next verse. Jinni apana kant pachaniya, how tin pucho santa jai. आप छोड़ी सेवा करी फिर सचड़ा मिले सहज स्वभाव. So I asked the Santa. Santa are those whose minds have been made tranquil, because that is the first precondition. Tranquil of what? Your own thoughts, your ego. When that is tranquilized, that is the first step. So this is a reference to those who have achieved that state. How tenu pucho santa jai. I go and ask them. In other words, they are the gurus because they have followed the path of the Guru. So they know the Guru. They are the Guru. So Guru Amar Das is saying, as a seeker, I go look for them and I ask them. Tin pucho santa jai. And what does the Santa say to me? What do these people say to me? Aap chodi seva kari. Give up your ego and serve the sabad. The same process. Mile sahaj subhai, and you will find the self without effort. You just have to engage with the sabad. It'll take you there. You don't have to struggle. Pir sacha mile aay sach kumai, sach sabad dhanarati, kade na rand sada suhagani antar sahaj samadhi. So the Guru is saying, when you go through the Gurmukh process, you meet the master. And therefore, once you meet, Kadena Rand Sada Suhagan, you will never separate. The union is permanent. It's not like you find union and then you break it. No, that doesn't happen. Pir rahya bharpure vek hadure, rangamane sahaj subai, jinni apna kant pachaniya, autin pucho santa jai. So he's repeating that I seek the Sant. The Sant meaning one who has traversed the path of the Guru. Because this pir that I'm looking for, bharpure vekha dure, you have to see it with your own eyes. You have to, when I say see it, I mean you have to sense its presence. You have to experience it with the eyes. And it has to be done naturally, meaning you have to return to your natural state. The ego is not your natural state. It is a state of being tense, stretched. Pirho vichuniya bhi milai, je satgur lag hai sach sache pai. Satgur sada dayal hai, Afghan sabad jalai. So, those who are separated, pero vichuniya, they can find the master if je satgur lago sache pai. If they sincerely, lage pai means touch the feet. That means if they follow the instructions of the sabad, of the Satgur. Satgur is here synonymous with its sabad. The enlightener and its message are the same. Satgur sada dayal hai, avgan sabad-a-day. So the Satgur is merciful, and its message will burn your shortcomings, your faults. It will help you realize your potential. Avgan sabad-a-day. So your shortcomings, your faults are jalai, literally burnt. Duja pao gavai, love of the other, that is to say, love of the ego. Sache hi sacharati. This is that union, imbued with the love of the eternal, devotion to the eternal. Sacha sabad sada sukha paya. Now the Guru is asserting that through that sabad, I found lasting peace. How me gai barati. The delusion, bharanti, which is the delusion caused by my ego, left me. Pir nirmail sada sukhadata, nanak sabd milai. Pir vichuniya bhi milai, je satgur lage sache pai. Again, emphasis. This message emphasizes over and over again that it is never too late. Pero vichuniya bhi mila. Even if you are separated, even if you are living in the ego, it is never too late. Satgur lage sache pai. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.